I don't know if I'm honestly going to own hamsters forever. We've named him Maurice and I feed him flies now. I have always been very, very honest with the mistakes that I have made with my pets. I asked you guys over on Instagram to give me your assumptions about me, and today we are going to be answering them. So let's just jump right in. The first assumption is that you don't curse, which couldn't be further from the truth because I curse like a sailor. The reason why I don't curse on my channel, or probably why you've never seen me curse in a video, is because I am quite aware of who my audience is. I like to keep my channel open to all sorts of ages, and I don't want to have to worry about a parent not wanting to let their child watch my videos because I've sworn in them or something like that. I also just don't feel comfortable doing it on camera. I have this reasoning behind it, and that is I don't want to post anything that I wouldn't want my grandma to watch or hear, and so that's why you don't really see me swear or maybe do things that you see other 25-year-olds doing on YouTube or TikTok. You are a very sensitive and emotional person. Unfortunately, this is true. I don't know if I should say unfortunately, because I don't think there's anything wrong with being sensitive and emotional. It's just how I am. I have always been pretty sensitive to things. I'm especially sensitive to authority getting mad at you. So in school, if I was in trouble, immediately I was crying. I've never gotten a speeding ticket or been pulled over by the police, and I know just for a fact that if I ever am pulled over, I'm just gonna immediately be crying. You secretly are a party girl. So I never went through a party phase. When I turned legal age, I just had no interest in going to bars or clubs. I think I maybe went to like 1 or 2, and it took me a while before I actually went to any, because I just wanted to stay home. I didn't get it. I had no interest in it. I don't really enjoy drinking much because it just makes you feel like absolute garbage, especially the older you get. When I was 23 turning 24, I definitely was going out a little bit more than in the past, but it wasn't anything considered like a party girl. The next one is you've got money, which is kind of funny because there were a couple of other people who asked if I was rich. If I was rich, I probably would have already had all of the things that I really, really want right now and wouldn't currently be saving up, because if I had the money, I would have just already spent it all. I definitely right now am living comfortably and am able to pay all of my bills. But from a very young age, I was taught how to be financially responsible. One of my favorite YouTubers right now is literally Caleb Hammer, and he's a financial audit YouTube channel. And I love watching that stuff because I love budgeting and saving my money. That's something that I've just always been very, very good at. You don't want any other pets aside from hamsters, rabbits, and cats. Honestly, I think I've just become really comfortable with the species that I currently own because I don't have to be afraid of making any new mistakes, because these are species that I have owned for I think over a decade now. If you know me personally, you also would know that I am not impulsive with pets at all. There's a lot of people out there who will see a pet and be like, oh my god, it's so cute, I want it, and a week later they go and bring it home. That's not me. I will see a pet that I maybe want, and then I will think it's so cute, I'd love to have one, and then I'm gonna go and do research. I'm gonna go back and forth on myself if I even really want them. I'm gonna make sure that they're gonna fit my lifestyle, and even then I'm still gonna be like, I don't know if I should get them because I've never owned them before. I have a lot of anxiety, and a lot comes from my pets. So that's probably also why I just don't go out and get new species all of the time. And since we're kind of on the topic, I don't know if I'm honestly going to own hamsters forever. I know in the past I have said that I'm probably always going to own a hamster, but things can change and I'm not sure what the future is going to bring. There are a couple of animals in the future that I would like to own, and that includes ducks and chickens. And another animal that I would be really interested in owning is actually ferrets. And before anyone tries to tell me to get them or to not to get them, like I mentioned earlier, I'm not just gonna go out and get them. I have so much research to do, and I do own prey animals that I would not want to have ferrets within the same vicinity of, because I don't want either of them to be stressed by that. So that is something I have to think about, and maybe one of the reasons that I may not own hamsters in the future. But of course, for now, I'm still owning hamsters and rabbits. Nobody panic. I'm not rehoming anybody. They're staying here with me until they are gone. You don't like dogs. No, I actually love dogs. The thing that I don't like is people who own untrained dogs because they weren't responsible enough to know that they have to put a lot of work into training their dog, and they just did it, and now they just have a dog that terrorizes everyone. I don't like that. You jump on the counter when you see a bug. So I'm not a fan of bugs by any means, but I'm also not gonna jump on a counter. I will freak out if something flies at me and hits me or lands on me, because that's something I wasn't expecting. But if there's like a bug on the floor, I can't just freak out, especially because I lived on my own for so long. You can't just freak out. You have to do something, or else the bug's gonna get into your house, which is gonna be worse than not doing anything about it. I'm actually a really big fan of spiders, purely because spiders eat other bugs. They eat the bugs that I hate more than spiders. So anytime there's like a spider in my house, as long as it's not like bigger than this, or no, as long as it's not this big, it can stay in my house for as long as it wants. I actually have a jumping spider who lives on the bedroom window beside my bed. We've named him Maurice, and I feed him flies now. You're interested in owning reptiles but are scared to because of Saffron. Saffron was my first and only reptile that I've ever had, and he was a crested gecko that I had adopted. I think I had him for 4 years. I can't remember exactly how long I had him, but he had become really aggressive, and it was becoming really stressful for not only me, but him to be in this environment, and I didn't know how to help him with that because I just don't have experience with reptiles like that. So I did go ahead and make the decision to rehome him to somebody who has more experience in reptiles. Now, would I want more reptiles? No, I'm not a reptile person at all, and I have had no interest in owning reptiles since him. The only reptile that I would maybe want is a tortoise, but that's only if I lived in a climate that was warm all of the time, and unfortunately, that's probably never gonna happen in this lifetime for me. You make a lot of mistakes, but you don't always show it on camera. I have always been very, very honest with the mistakes that I have made with my pets. Whenever something has happened, I always go ahead and make a video discussing it or explaining it to you guys, and I like to use those mistakes and tell others about those mistakes so that it helps somebody to not make those same mistakes, such as not having a lid for your hamster's enclosure or using popsicle sticks as a fence is not a really good idea. You're neurodivergent with a special interest in animals. So I have never been diagnosed by any doctor or whoever else is able to diagnose you. But I do know that women typically aren't diagnosed very easily, and the more that I watch TikTok, and I know TikTok isn't a great source always, but sometimes it is, I have learned that there are a lot of traits and things in my childhood that potentially could mean something. I'm not sure really how you go about being tested for it. Obviously, I have tried like online quizzes and it always says that I'm not, but those online quizzes are kind of stupid, and they'll ask things like, do you want to go to a library or would you want to go to a party? I don't want to go to neither. You live in Toronto, Ontario. Okay, so we need to put this assumption and myth to rest. We need to tuck it into bed and read it a bedtime story, because I do not live in Toronto, Ontario. For privacy reasons, I've never said which province that I live in, but I definitely don't live in Toronto, and it probably would be better if I did, because they have so much more access to everything, because that's the only province and city that people think of when you talk about Canada. Okay, last assumption. Your pet room has a little animal smell that you don't talk about. I can successfully say that my house and my pet room does not stink like pets. And this is confirmed by my boyfriend's parents, who have literally never had a pet. So I know a lot of people would say, Victoria, you're nose blind. They're definitely not going to be nose blind because they don't have pets. So if anyone knows smells, it's going to be them. And they have said that you can't tell that I have pets. So there you have it. That's your reminder that if your house or the room that you have your pets in smells or stinks at all, you probably aren't cleaning enough, or you're feeding them a poor diet. And those are all of the assumptions that I'm going to answer today. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know if you did, or if you didn't, don't let me know because I'm sensitive. But I hope you have enjoyed this video. So I hope to see you in my next one. Bye!